What's up, my reseller friends? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sabrina. I thrift to resell on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari, and I have another Come Ship With Me video. Today, I'm just going to be completely honest. There aren't really many great sales in here. This is a lot of small items, bread and butter. I really only sold 7 things, but let's still go ahead and ship, and I will show you some things to not pick up. All right, so the first item is going to be this puppy surprise. Now with puppy surprise, there are old ones from, I want to say, I'm not sure if it's the 80s or the 90s. That's when they first came out and they were really popular, and then they brought it back again more recently, like somewhere in the 2010s. And this is more of a modern one. It's not one of the vintage ones. If you find the vintage ones, they can sell better. I mean, I'm not gonna necessarily say that these are like huge bolos or anything, but if you can find them for cheap, they're pretty good pickups. This one in particular only sold for $12.14. I did have it listed since May, so it has been listed for quite some time. And I did charge shipping, $6.99 for this. So the way I'm planning on shipping this, and I would love for you guys to comment below if you think this is good or not. Normally with plush, I like to send them in poly bags. This one isn't all plush. There is parts of her that, you know, are a little bit like harder, a little bit more delicate, but I don't really necessarily want to send it in a box either because I know it's going to put it above the weight. So I do want to still send this one in a poly bag, but I am going to wrap it in a sheet of bubble wrap. So I feel like that kind of like protects it a little bit nicely. But I would love to hear your opinions in the comments if you think that this is good enough. So I do like to keep these bigger size poly bags. Let me see what size this one is. I never remember. It's 14 by 19. These are just really great to have, especially if you sell like plush, or even if you sell like maybe jackets or sweaters, things like that. These are really good for. And then also sometimes, like if I have an oversized book, I like to wrap that book in cardboard and then put it in one of these bags. And the whole purpose of wanting to send them in poly bags is you're keeping the weight of it down. So you're saving money on shipping. All right, so this is going to weigh 11 ounces, 11.6 ounces. So literally it's right at that 12 ounce mark that I need to be at. If it was just a little bit heavier, I would have to list it more. I had to list it at 13 ounces, which would bring up the price. So let's just see what the difference is. So if I had to go up to the next tier in shipping, it would cost me $6.60 to ship. But because I kept it at 12 ounces, it's $5.17. So I mean, it basically, I forgot what it was. It saved me a whole dollar. Oh, it saved me more than $1 by just keeping it under that 12 ounce. You have to keep it at 12 or under. So the way USPS works is they have different tiers for how they decide how much they're going to charge you for shipping. And it's for every 4 ounces. So it's going to be like 4 ounces, 8 ounces, 12 ounces, 1 pound. So once you go past that tier, it charges you for the next one up. So let's say that you have something that weighs 8 ounces. You're good. They will charge you for 8 ounces. However, if you have something that weighs 9 ounces, they're going to charge you for the 12 ounces. So it goes up to the next tier. So you always want to try to keep it as close to a particular tier as possible without going over. And if you can get in the habit of doing that, I mean, look at this, is already saving me $1 whole. Can you imagine, like, you know, all the money that I've saved throughout the years just making sure that I'm keeping my shipping at a certain price. So I would recommend, especially if you're new to selling and you're still learning about shipping, that you just be very cautious of that as you're doing your shipping, and weigh it before you close it up and, you know, get ready to, you know, ship it. Just be aware of the way that USPS charges. It will save you so much money. And like I said, if I put this in a box, it probably would have put it over a pound. So I would have like been charged even more. So I think that this is secure enough, because at the same time, you don't want to like cheap out on your buyer, and you don't want to, you know, take the risk of something getting damaged, because if it damages, then you're going to be out of money. So it's always good just to find that right balance of being able to ship it in a way that is going to be price effective for you, but also get the item to the buyer safely. Because I would always say that, you know, always think about that first. That should always be your number one priority. Is this going to get to the buyer safe? I think that this is going to be totally fine. And, you know, but I'm constantly learning myself. So that's why I would love if you comment below, let me know what you think. All right. Next item is one of my t-shirts. I had this shirt for a long time and I wore it several times, and you know, it's just not really my style anymore. Just like the shape of the shirt, I just never wear it. So I listed this shirt back in December of 2022, and it's been sitting here in the closet ever since. And I've ended up selling it. I accepted an offer for $2.98. So it sold for $3, but I did charge shipping of $5. So, you know, this, if I would have known at the time, I probably would not have listed it. Actually, I know I wouldn't have if I would have known, but this is the thing, we don't always know. And sometimes I'll get people in the comments like lecturing me about like, well, you know, you should only be listing things that have high sell-through rates if you don't want things to sit around. And it's like, there definitely is truth to that. But also at the same time, things are constantly changing, guys. I think it's really important to look at sell-through rates of items. But at the same time, it's like, I mean, there could not be good sell-through on this particular item because maybe all the people who have them listed have it listed too high. And if it's something you have for free around your house, I mean, honestly, I don't think it was worth the $3 for me to take the time to list it, because I mean, I'm not getting $3. eBay's keeping a cut of it. There's taxes, so it's like I'm probably really only making like $1 here, guys. So it was not worth it. But you know what, these are all learning experiences. So when something like this happens, like there's no need to like beat yourself up about it or like feel bad about it. And I'm not ashamed to talk to it in front of you guys. None of us are perfect, and you know, there's anytime something just wasn't worth it to sell, you do gain something from it because you gain knowledge, right? So today I probably still would list this, but I would list it with other Disney shirts and sell it a lot. All right, so this is gonna weigh, let's see, this weighs 3.8 ounces, so I kept it at the 4, which is great. If this item would have weighed 0.3 more ounces, I would have been charged past the 4 ounces. So I would have been charged for 8 ounces. If I was charged for 8 ounces, it would have been $4.50. But because I kept it at the 4 ounces, I'm getting charged $3.75. See how this adds up? If I were to ship this in maybe a thicker, bigger poly bag, it very well could have gone over. This is why it's important when you buy your shipping supplies. I don't like to buy heavy duty stuff because I don't want to add that extra weight. But I don't want to buy super cheap, flimsy stuff either. So it's all about finding that right balance and finding the right supplies. Okay. Next item is a Barbie. If you watched the last video I posted about my Barbie, the volume 1 of my Barbie video series, I actually did show this doll in it, and I was talking about how beautiful I thought she was. So it was this doll right here. I don't know if you can see. Oh, dude, her hair is so pretty. It's like this magenta color. But she is actually a signature doll. It's called Looks. So that's the name of like that product line of that doll. And she's supposed to be like petite. So she's a little bit smaller than the average Barbie. And I think that her name is like the name that goes with the face is Tamika. And it's a black label doll. So if I had this doll like in her outfit or in its box, I probably could have gotten like some good money for her. I probably could have gotten like maybe like $60 or more. But because it was just a doll, I didn't have her outfit or accessories or anything else. She sold for $17.99 free shipping, which, you know, is actually pretty good for a Barbie that's been played with and doesn't have her clothing or her original clothing. Oh, so I can't remember where I heard this, but I think it was from one of you guys who commented saying something about using store bags for stuffing for packaging, and I love that idea, and I've actually been doing it. In California, we do get charged for bags. I know a lot of other states are like that now too. I think we were like the first ones who started it. We do our very best to like try to remember to bring our own bags with us, but I'm not gonna lie, it's very hard to remember even when we have the bags in our trunk. It's like you get down and you go into the store, you're like, oh yeah, all my bags are in my trunk, I forgot them. So we're really bad at it. So we constantly are always having like these bags, but it's like I hate throwing them away because it's just like I pay for them and it's like just not good for the environment. But I love the idea that I can use these extra ones as like stuffing for my stuff. So whoever told me that, I can't remember who you are. Thank you so much. That was really good advice. All right. And this weighs 7.5 ounces. Again, I'm having really good luck today, keeping my items like right at where they need to be as far as weight goes. So this one is going to cost me $4.06 to ship, and it's going right down the street to Los Angeles, California. Another Barbie. This is actually a Barbie that I had listed a long time ago. Let's see, when did I list her? I listed her in June. So it's been about 6 months, I guess. It feels longer though. Whenever I start listing more Barbie, which I just listed like a crap ton of Barbie in my eBay store, like my older Barbie stuff starts selling. So this is one of them. She's really cool. It's a vintage doll from the 90s, but she's like a Looney Tunes. Can you see her little Looney Tunes outfit? So she's from 1998, and it's Barbie Loves Tweety Bird. That's the name. Pretty cool. She sold for $13.48 free shipping. I know for some of you, you're thinking, yeah, no, I'm not gonna list anything for lower than $20. And you know what? I totally respect that. I am actually trying to get my average price up. So I totally get that. But it's like, for me, like Barbies is just kind of like a passion of mine. It's something that I love listing. I feel like it's really good for my store. It's and you know, Barbie stuff doesn't necessarily sell super fast when you list it, but when you list a bunch of Barbie all at once, I feel like it's so good for my store because it keeps like that flow of like I'm constantly selling Barbie stuff. So if you watch my ship with me videos regularly, you'll see that I'm always shipping Barbie stuff like all the time. So it works for me, and yeah, I enjoy it, and I don't mind selling this Barbie for $13.50. Honestly, it's fine, and I know it doesn't work for everybody's business plan, but you know, like that's the beauty of what we do, is that we all get to choose, and you know, all our stores and all of our businesses are super unique. And yeah, so this weighs, again, 7.9 ounces. I'm right there. This is so weird how this is working out today. Doesn't always happen. So this one is going to cost me $4.09 to ship. It's going to Arizona. Another Barbie item. This is a vintage dress. It is from 1991, and it came with a Barbie called Birthday Surprise. And I honestly thought that this one would sell for more because it's a really nice dress. It's really pretty. It's vintage. It's in pretty good condition. The straps on it have been cut off. So the straps aren't there, but just the way that the dress goes, I feel like you don't really need them. So that could be why they were cut off to begin with. Yeah, this one ended up selling. I had it listed for 10 bucks. But I sent a bunch of offers, like 10% off offers. So it sold for that. So it ended up selling for $8.99. Which, you know what? This was actually really easy to list anyways. So I'm fine with it. And I sell a lot of Barbie outfits for $10 free shipping. There's a ton of them in my store. Guys, I took way too long with getting my packages ready. And I had to stop right now because I heard USPS guy come up. So I had to run over there and tell him I wasn't ready. He was so awesome to say he would come back. Oh my gosh. And he's not my normal mailman, because I have like this mail lady who's like my normal, you know, person who comes to pick up my packages, but she's out this week, so I was kind of worried about that. But how awesome of him, right? I'm having good luck today. So I gotta do this fast. Yeah, so this is gonna cost me $3.75. This is going to Monterey, California. The next item is some play food. Dang it, this one's going to New York. It's just a bunch of like little play foods. This ended up selling for $8.99 plus $6.99 shipping. And I talked about this in my last Come Ship With Me video. I had bought a huge lot of play food, and I bundled it up into small little bundles and made some listings, and they've been constantly selling. Nothing too like crazy, but I mean 10 bucks here, 15 bucks there, 8 bucks there type of thing. So, you know, it works for me. I know it's not for everybody, but this is going to weigh 10.8 ounces. And I did charge $6.99, and it is going to cost me $5.33. It's going to New York. Okay, last item. I have this Raiders thing. I don't even know what the heck it is. It looks like a belt buckle, right? But there's no buckle on the back. So I wasn't really sure how to list this, because I have like 50 of them. I bought them at a yard sale in a bulk. I think I paid $20 for all of them. This is the third one I believe I've sold. And this one sold, someone accepted an offer for $13.49. And the way that I listed it in the title is I put Raiders football shaped metal plate plaque. And then I put the dimensions gold tone for DIY. If anyone has any other ideas of like a good way, like how to list it, what to put in the title, like any like keywords, I'd appreciate it, because I've just never really sold anything like this. Couldn't find anything like it on eBay to compare it to, so I just kind of went with that. And I'm wrapping it in some cardboard. This is exactly like how I shipped the other ones. And then I'm just putting it in a regular DVD size 9x6 padded envelope. And this is gonna weigh 3.6 ounces. So another one that I got pretty lucky with. I stayed under the 4 ounces. And this is, if it had gone over, it would have cost me $4.15. But since we stayed at 4 ounces, it's going to cost me $3.75. And this is also going to California. I guess I sold a lot of stuff locally today too. So I'm a lucky day. So I'm just going to go ahead and print out these labels and get them put back. I can get them on my porch for when he comes back around again to pick them up. Man, what a nice guy to do that. So yeah, so I'm just gonna get this situated, take care of that, and then I'm gonna come back because I do have something that I want to talk with you guys about. So in my last video, I talked about bad sellers, and I talk about it a lot on my channel. I have a lot of videos about it, and I talk about bad sellers a lot, but I don't necessarily talk too much about bad buyers. And I know that in my last video, based off some of the comments I got, I know that some of you probably want to see me acknowledge the fact that there are bad buyers. And yes, I do acknowledge there's bad buyers, but I just kind of want to say that I don't talk about that very much on this channel. Because here it talked about all the time. I feel like it's almost like beating a dead horse. So I feel like it's just one of those things where I don't necessarily have to talk about it all the time because it's been talked about. And on top of that, I feel like as sellers, we aren't really interacting with other sellers. We're mostly interacting with buyers. So because of that, in our minds, when we think of like bad eBayers, we automatically go to thinking about bad buyers because that's what we've experienced. But I think a lot of people, well, like for me, I kind of like to step out of the box a bit and just look at the whole picture of like what affects our businesses. Just say that I work at Chili's and I'm like a super great waitress, and you know, I'm really well at my job. I get a lot of tips, you know, for the most part the customers really like me. But I see other servers not being good servers. Does that affect me? Well, absolutely, because guess what? Those people probably aren't going to come back, and then that takes money out of my pocket as a server because I'm not going to be able to serve them next time because they had that bad experience and they're not going to want to come back. And you can see how that could be like very frustrating to somebody who like works really hard at something. So that's kind of like how I feel about it as like an eBay seller, is I get very frustrated with other sellers who are giving our buyers really bad experiences so that they don't come back. I'm very passionate about that. And I think it's something that's not talked about enough in this community. And that's why I like to talk about it often. I do want to quickly talk about bad buyers though. When I talk about bad buyers, I'm not talking about annoying buyers, because don't get me wrong, there's a crap ton of annoying buyers. I mean, I'm talking about the people who open returns, or, you know, just like stuff like that, just annoying stuff, that ask a million questions, that like complain about things. I mean, those are annoying buyers, and they're very common. Trust me, very common annoying buyers. But an actual bad buyer is someone who will try to sabotage your business for absolutely no reason and leave you unfair feedback. That's a bad buyer. Or somebody who tries to scam you. Maybe someone who buys something from you, opens a return and sends back something else and keeps the item for you, and they do that little switcheroo. That's a bad buyer. There are bad buyers. But this is the thing. So when I was in college and taking business classes, one of the things that they talked to us a lot about is like fraud and theft and loss, because that's a part of a business. When I was at Denny's a couple months ago, I saw somebody walk out and never pay for their meal. And then they try to go after them, but they were already long gone. And it's like, what do? You know? And it's just like, it's going to happen. You can do things to try to prevent that. You could put like practices in place. You know, you go to a store, people put sensors on things. They have alarms set up. They've got cameras, security guards. You could always do things to limit the amount of loss and theft that you have. But it's still gonna happen, right? So I think it's just so important that we prepare our hearts and minds for it. That way when it does happen, it doesn't hurt or sting as bad, because it's something you expect. Like at school, we would always have to like write out like these income statements and stuff, and there was always like a line on there for loss. It's a part of business. So there's that you have to deal with. But then another thing that I think is like super important that I wish more sellers would talk about: bad buyers exist. They're out there. You're going to experience them, especially if you sell enough, or if you you know, have been selling for a long enough period of time, it's going to happen. But it's not that common. How many times have you gone to a restaurant and seen someone leave without paying? We all know it happens, but it's not common. So I would say that I ship probably somewhere between 200 to 300 items a month, give or take, you know, just depending on how that month is going. And so you keep that in mind, 200 to 300 a month. And I would say the amount of bad buyer experiences that I've had is it probably happens once a quarter. And when I think about all in all, how long I think I've been selling since 2017, 2018, I can only really think of like a small handful of like really bad buyer experiences I had. I mean, I can, if like just off the top of my head, I really can only think of 3 or 4. Everything else, it's like, it's been like annoying and had to like deal with it and stuff, but like they worked out and it was okay. Like it wasn't that serious. So to me, bad buyers just aren't really a part of like my business that like I'm passionate about and upset about, because it's not that common. There are definitely things that we can do to make it even less common. So most of my items are all top rated plus, because I offer free returns and I ship within 1 business day, and I was top rated. So when you have those 3 things, your items become top rated plus. One of the benefits of doing that is if someone returns something, you don't have to give them all the money back. You can only give them half of it back. And you know, please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, because I have been told by somebody else that commented on one of my videos that actually if you're just top rated, you don't have to be top rated plus, but just being top rated, you also get this feature. I'm not sure on that, so it could be. I was told otherwise, but I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure on it. But regardless, I don't have to give someone all their money back when they do a return. Like I can keep some of that. And I did have someone once do that switcheroonie with me on a video game. It wasn't that expensive of a game. I think it was $12. And you know, they sent me back their old broken game that was cracked. So instead of making a huge fuss over it and trying to contact eBay and call them and try to get all that situated, I just decided that I was just gonna refund him 50%. So he only got $6 back. Know this, that some of these people, these scam artists, they know how to work the system, and they know that top rated sellers are gonna be able to keep 50% of it. So they're gonna buy from someone who is not. So that's just something to keep in mind, like for your business, is strive to be top rated, strive to be top rated plus, because if you can do these things, you're gonna have more protection. And then when I reach out to eBay, you're gonna have more protection, and we'll be able to stop these people from really being able to take advantage of us. And another thing too is don't always just take someone's word for something. So I had sold someone a t-shirt. It was like a kind of vintage. It was like a Y2K. It had like the Playboy bunny on it. And I sold it for like 26 bucks. And I remember when I took pictures of that shirt, and I remember thinking it was in pretty good condition. You know, I do have really good attention to detail. I'm pretty good at catching flaws because I take lots of pictures from different angles with good lighting. Well, after this person received it, they sent me a private message. And they said, I wasn't aware that there was holes on the shirt. If there were holes, I probably would have never bought it. Like the first thing I think of is like, no, she's lying. Like I remember there was no holes on that shirt. But I always try to give the person the benefit of the doubt. Everything you do it professional, right? Do it with kindness, be professional, and it will definitely pay off for you. So I responded and I just told her, I was like, oh, I must have missed those holes. I'm really sorry. Can you please send me some pictures? And upon reviewing the pictures, we can figure out a route to go. Radio silence. Never heard from this person. Ever. So you know, some people send messages like this just hoping that you'll give them some of their money back, but you have to make them prove it. And if you do mess up, you should make it right, but don't just like give in to somebody. And if somebody messages you something saying you better do this or I'm leaving you negative feedback, don't let them bully you into that. If anything, they just shot themselves in the foot by saying that, because if eBay sees that that message, you're automatically protected from them leaving you negative feedback, because now that's feedback extortion. So once they say that, any feedback that they leave you that's negative, you can get it removed by eBay. You will qualify for it, because eBay can go back and see that message that they sent and they will remove it. So don't let people bully you. Make people prove to you when there's something wrong, and just continue to always, everything you do, be professional with people. Even if they're not being professional back and they're being rude, don't give into that. And like, even if you just get like random messages from people, like I've gotten it, I know tons of you have probably gotten a message with someone saying like, you listed your item too high, or they'll like message you complaining about something with your listing, something that doesn't help you at all it's doing is just like trying to, you know, insult you. Do not respond, guys. Stop responding to that shit. I see it all the time on Facebook groups. I see it on Instagram where people will share, oh, look at what someone sent to me and look at what my response was. And it's just like, why? If we can ignore this type of shit, people will stop. I actually do like to respond, because I don't think it looks good if you get messages and you don't respond to them. So I'll normally respond, but I'll say something like, thanks for your feedback, and just like leave it at that. I'm gonna tell you guys, being professional and kind will get you so far, and it will save you so much grief, and it'll make your life so much easier. Just trust me. But anyways, that's my take on bad buyers. I would say the percentage of bad buyers that I experience is like 0.001% compared to like all the sales that I get. So I'm not going to sit here and complain about them. I'm not going to, you know, bring that type of negativity out here when it really is not really affecting me that bad. What I feel is affecting me, and this is my channel, so I could talk about what affects me, is bad sellers. Plain and simple. When someone's sending me a message asking me if I'm going to ship my Barbie in a bag or in a poly bag or in a box, they shouldn't have to send me that message and ask me that question. They should automatically just be like confident to just buy it right then and there when they see it, and not like have to worry about that. If you're gonna sell on eBay, learn it, do it right. We're all gonna make mistakes, and you know, the important thing about it is to not like beat yourself up about it. You should only be beating yourself up if you make that same mistake twice. Then it's like but you know, it's like we're all gonna make mistakes. We're not perfect, especially in the beginning. So just continue just to always strive, learn from your mistakes, and just do better next time. And always just strive to be your best, to be professional, and be a great seller that makes eBay a great place for people to come and shop on, where they feel safe to buy from. And if we can get it to that point, we will get more people buying on eBay again, and our sales will increase, guys. So that's just what I have to say about all that. Well, I hope that you found this video helpful or useful in any way at all. It's going to be a beautiful week, guys. We're going to get lots of sales. I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you in my next video. And never forget that when you thrift upon a star, all your dreams will come true. Bye.